Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Abrazo Mate Football Podcast. Brooks, Blaine, you know the drill. First things first, president of Real Madrid. We've been talking a lot about Real Madrid lately, but they've been popping off a lot lately too, and they winning. So they've been in the news for all of the right reasons, but some of the wrong reasons. So President Perez, Florentino Perez, uh, let it, so I just want to know how you feel about his overall statements in general about Mbappe, but him ultimately making it abundantly clear that the door is still open. He essentially said, he told me it's his dream to play here, and President Emmanuel Macron and a bunch of other politicians in France basically forced him to sign a contract, and he's a little boy, and I can't fault him because when people like that get involved, it's kind of hard or something along those lines. He kind of basically he threw a little bit of shade, but he was like, you know what, you can still come. What are your thoughts on the fallout in his remarks, and I guess what's he talking about?
I mean, even again this morning, there was another report that someone was like randomly asked him, and he's like, "Oh, that poor boy, he must be in such a terrible foul mood." Dude, I'm just like so over Fiorentino Perez right now. It's like this has been over a week now. You won Champions League. You should be on that high right now. You have a really great squad. I think I told you before we recorded, I'm like mad inside. So I'm trying to not get too angry, but the way that he's handling this whole situation is just pretty awful. I can't believe that he keeps running his name everywhere. If I was Mbappe, I would never ever 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 want to ever come and play for Madrid. So I also don't know where Fiorentino Perez gets off on being some 70 plus year old man talking down on some 20-year-old kid that chose to stay in my opinion a better city, uh better weather, better shopping, better as far as image rights go.
I mean, he's Parisian.
Yeah, he's
He's
Parisian.
Parisian, bro. He's Parisian. It's like I'm home, hometown hero. I'm like, it's hard to blame
It's
him
hard to blame him, and also for
in the
him as an
bag and
image,
the bad.
you're getting all these better endorsements if you're in Paris, being a Parisian kid too. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not the biggest Madrid fan. I live in Barcelona, so I think it's a way better city here. But I just think that it's ridiculous that he keeps saying this stuff. Stop talking about that. He said no, but I'm also going to be really upset if Mbappe does end up going to Madrid. Letting this dude talk about him like this and then still go to play for him. That's what kind of upsets me too. It's just I feel like this man, this old white rich man, is no, he's taking advantage of it's just the epitome of what the patriarchy is like. He's like, I'm gonna run my mouth because I know at the end of the day I can still get what I want because of who I am. And I really, really, really
Yeah,
hope that Mbappe just does not. You're gonna leave Paris, that's fine. No one expects you to stay there your entire career. Um, just don't ever go to Madrid. I would be so spiteful that I would go to Barcelona on 50,000 a week once after I've cashed in my hundreds of millions at Paris just to beat Madrid every time I played them.
just to spite him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. So my thoughts were the part where he was like he must be feeling so sad. I'm like, okay, so he might be referring to the fact that he signed Aurelian Chouameni, and maybe the fact that they just put Vinny Jr. on a major contract because he was on that teenage wage, and now he's making that big man money.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm like yo, Mbappe's making more money than half of the starting lineup for Madrid. So he's not sad. He's not sad from a financial
Right.
standpoint. And as far as I mean, he'll be playing with Chouameni and Camavinga and Benzema in the World Cup, in the Nations League, and I mean, I don't understand why he would feel sad. It's not like Paris
No
isn't
idea.
going to make signings. It's not like Paris isn't going to be competitive.
Right.
And I guess to what you said, I mean, the only thing that I would have thought, it's I understand why the old white man would be upset. You thought you were getting a top two, arguably one of the best or the second best forward player in the world,
Hmm.
and in the last hour, I mean, he never told you directly that he's definitely coming, but in the last hour, he's like, I'm deciding to stay. What to me seems like it would make sense is for him to just be like, you know what? We thought we had him. We didn't get him. We've made a lot of great signings since we didn't get him, you know. Rudiger, Chouameni. They're probably going to sign a few more guys, and we'll get him next time. If he wants to come next time, the door's always open, and just leave it at that. All of this, oh, I want the old Mbappe, not this new Mbappe. Oh, he must be feeling so sad. Like now, you kind of talking spicy
Right.
now. Like now how about this? How about I come to Madrid and my stipulation is you can't be employed by the club, so the shareholders force you out, and I come over here and I run this thing like I'm the
That would be
boss.
amazing. I
Show
didn't
you.
even think of that.
Yeah, yeah. That was my first. I was like the first comment. I was like, okay, I want the old Mbappe, not the new Mbappe. Okay, I'm gonna let that slide. What you just told me he said this morning? Nah, man, I'm coming over and I'm taking everything. If I come over, I'm taking you out of a job just to show you who really runs the world. And that's all. That's where all that
Yeah,
happened.
no,
So
you're totally right. That's a really good point. Also, like he must be way better. Like he clearly had like two parents in his life because he's handling this way better than I would handle. I would be calling out that man on my social media as like 50 years younger than him, having no respect. I would be like, I would be so upset. So I mean, he's handling it well. I mean, I don't know. I don't know obviously the ins and outs of it, but you're right. That would be even better. Just like put on your IG, hey, socios of Madrid. I'll come under one condition. Voting's coming up this season. Vote him out and I'm in.
vote him out.
Yeah.
Perez out. Yeah. I'm sure his mom will have something to say though. His mom does.
She kind of lights it up a bit.
She's on Twitter
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. So
But to put things
I don't
right,
mind
it's
it.
to
I'm
put
here
things
for
straight.
it.
Like I'm
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. It's not. Yeah. She just she's looking out for the best interest of her
right.
baby. You know. I've never heard the dad say him. I just see the dad styling at the games. I've never
Yeah.
heard him come out and say that. The mom do be setting the record straight.
That's
So
good.
shout out to Mom
Yeah.
and Mbappe. Dope. Okay. So this past week, I think it was I want to say it was Thursday night. The FIFA, whatever you want to call it, president and all of the vice presidents or the presidents of the federations named all the countries that the 2026 World Cup is going to take place in, and it is absolutely bonkers. These guys are playing in basically 4 different hemispheres. They're going all the way from Canada down to Mexico, from the Bay to Miami. They're like, I don't know if a World Cup has ever covered more distance in the history of football. What are your thoughts on the traveling arrangements and the city selection? Like, they could have just held a World Cup in California. Like, there's enough stadiums and space, but they decided to do the whole U.S. is enough. Like, to me, the whole U.S. is enough. Like, there's certain people that think the U.S., the way we do Major League Soccer, we should just split the country down the middle and just have like an Eastern Conference and a Western Conference because there's so much space to cover. These guys up the ante. They're like, nah, the whole U.S., Mexico, and Canada. How you like me now? So, what were your thoughts on that, Brooks?
Yeah, I mean,
Am I bugging?
no, it's crazy. I'm with you on that because there's so much to travel. So, like, I mean, just to give some clarity on the situation, when we live in New York, it's just as it's sometimes faster, like to get to London from New York than it is to get to like Los Angeles or Seattle. That's how far the U.S. is. So these people are trying to play some games in New York, in Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, all the way up in Montreal, Miami, Mexico. So yeah, the traveling is wild. I can't imagine. I mean, I guess what they'll probably do is just, I mean, what I hope they would do is like set groups in those like locations and they're just going to play, in those cities or whatever. But I doubt that. I mean, it's just clear that FIFA doesn't have the best interest of the players in mind. Thinking of this, Qatar World Cup, all they want to do is, go where the money is. And I guess it's kind of cool for like the people of these 3 countries that are able to, host a World Cup, a couple matches or whatever. All the way people from like Mexico, Texas, like we said, California, Miami, up to Canada. Like there's a bunch of local people that are going to be able to see some games or whatever. So for that aspect, I mean, yeah, that's cool that these, people of a ton of cities can be a part of that. But I don't know. It seems like you'd be so far removed from from everything. It's just like, where is the main hub? Like, where is the main location going to be? I don't know. It seems weird.
Yep. Yeah, that's the problem. Like, yeah, I feel like it's probably going to be more speculative than actual fan bases. 'Cause, I
Yeah.
mean, it's like to travel to the U.S. during a World Cup year and to stay here would already be expensive. But then it's like, okay, let's say I'm a Costa Rican fan. Shout out to Costa
Yeah,
Rica for making it
definitely.
in, by the way. Okay, maybe you go to a game in Mexico City. Okay, the next game they play is in Dallas. Now you gotta have your passport ready. You gotta make it to another country at another currency
Yep.
in an arrangement there, and it's not easy. And then maybe their next game is in Atlanta. I think what you said was smart. Like if they were to say like, okay, there's was it like 6 groups, 8 groups? I don't remember off the top of my head how many groups there
Well,
are.
also it's going to
But
extend at that point, right? Aren't they going to be even, or who knows? I don't know if that's going to be
oh,
when it
you're
starts.
right. You're right. No, you're right. That is the extension year.
So we
So
don't know how many
maybe
groups.
there would, yeah, but let's just say there's. I mean, maybe it would be easier to play like maybe like some of these, like maybe every country that's there is like they just get one group
Hmm.
if that even makes sense, and then in between that the next city gets the next group, and then the next city, and like they just keep, like you said, they keep everybody siloed, so it's like, okay, group A, you're playing all your games in Montreal,
Yeah.
so like the good people of Montreal, you get to see all of group A, all the games here. And then when we proceed to the round of or whatever comes, I guess there would be group stage 1 and then like group stage 2 before the round of 16. I don't know. And then maybe, okay, now you're in Houston and everybody on this side of the bracket's in Houston. Or I get, you know what I mean? That would make sense because then, it's like, you don't have to travel as much. And then like these cities are only getting hit one time until like you eventually make it to like probably SoFi. I bet SoFi is where the final would be
You're
played,
probably
and then like
right.
so it all kind of like gradually pushes to California, and maybe it starts in the East and gradually. But then you got some stadiums in New York too, so I don't know, man. I hope. I mean, maybe they did figure it out, but yeah, off the top, it just looks hectic
So
and
hectic.
insane.
Yeah.
You
I,
know,
I
when you look at the map, it's like they doing what?
Yeah, I mean, you brought up a good point. I didn't really think about that. Like for me personally, like let's say I want to go see Argentina, and they were in San Francisco, and then they were going to New York, and then they were going to Miami or something. Like I just don't know. It's just logistically that just makes such difficult. Not even for the players, but you're right. Like even the fans, because some of these airlines, I mean, you're going to have to get like we don't have like Ryanair, or Vueling where they're going to fly to every single country like this. There's tickets in America, like the North America, are super expensive to go anywhere. We don't have like 30 euro tickets to go to a different country. It's going to be hundreds.
Especially in a World Cup
Yeah,
year.
exactly.
Especially in a World Cup year. Yeah. So yeah, dude. I mean, a handful of my friends hit me up and they're like, "Yo, what city are we going to watch it?" And I'm like, Denver. I
There's
don't
going to be
know.
some in Denver
L.A. Like,
and Philly,
I don't know if
like just
Denver
literally
actually
everywhere.
did. I was gonna say I don't know if Denver
Okay.
actually. Let me see. Central, West. Um, so nah, Vancouver, Seattle, San Francisco, L.A., Guadalajara. Yeah. So yeah, Denver didn't make the cut.
Hmm.
Yeah, Denver didn't make the cut. Did Philly make the
Philly's
cut?
in there.
Philly did. Lincoln Field in the building. All right. Man, I'll tell you the truth though. I still want to go. There's a couple of like if I could, I would want to go see some of the games down in Mexico.
Absolutely.
Like I think it like I can't remember if it's which stadium it is. It's the one it might be the one in Mexico. No, it's not Azteca. It must be Guadalajara. It's like right up against the mountains
Yeah,
or
because
something.
Azteca is like
Am I
like
bugging?
super high up there in the air, or like with the super super thin
Oh,
air. So I think you're right. I think it is Guadalajara.
yo, I'd want to. I mean I'd want to go to both
Yeah,
if granted they had good games, but
yeah.
like those stadiums look amazing. And obviously I've never been to them. Those stadiums look amazing. But also, imagine you play there. Like imagine okay maybe you played in Miami. You're sea level below sea level.
Right.
Then you got to go play in the mountain. Bro, we were at the resort the other day. They had air chambers where people coming from out of state there are people coming. There's a wedding family from New Hampshire. They're coming from out of state. They had like the bride and groom hooked up to like oxygen because they had to like get acclimated to the elevation. I'm like, imagine like some of these dudes coming from like England, Spain, like countries that have low elevation. You know what I mean? Like like not or like I guess I'm thinking like coastal, like Brazil, like Rio de Janeiro, people like that. It's like, yo, people passing out, man. You cheering so hard, you pass out, and this like I'm called like people are gonna be passing out. In
That's probably
the elevation.
I wonder if that's why they didn't choose like Denver or Salt Lake or anything like that, just because of because of the elevation levels. But again, Estadio Azteca in Mexico City, that stadium is way up there, so sky high. And also, I wonder who's going to be like the real host country, because you think of it like, I don't know, how many cities does Mexico have? Like 2 in America.
It's America.
Yeah, absolutely, right. So obviously the like home field advantage is America, because they're literally probably going to be playing in every single game in the States. However, I will say, that being said, that whenever Mexico comes to play in a lot of these United States cities and games, like the Mexican fans usually outnumber the American fans. So,
well, I was gonna say, man, yeah, being in America, man, it's a toss up. Mexico also has home court advantage. Like, they turn up for their people. Like, so, like we have like. So RSL, they play every year. We have like a cup where it's like Major League Soccer versus like Liga MX. And when like Las Tigres or whoever comes to play us, you would think that it was a La Tigres game. Like, they show up to the point where I'm like, I'm putting my hoodie on because I'm embarrassed to be I'm embarrassed, man. I'm like, yo, I'm cheering for the Tigers, because you guys know how to support the team. Like you come here with the energy, and you know what? I'm rooting for you guys. Who we rooting for? That guy? Okay. Starts cheering for his name. Put the hoodie on. So
yeah.
But yeah, it'll be interesting. It will be interesting to see how it plays out. But
yeah.
I mean, I would be lying if I would say that I'm not excited. I think it's stupid. I think the three countries is stupid.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm like, yo, just Mexico can do it. Mexico can do it alone. Yeah. God knows they could do it by themselves. And America, God knows we could do it by ourselves. And if Canada can't do it on their own, then you know what? Like, that's on y'all.
But I do think they can. Also, shout out to Canada for being like a host nation still. That's huge. That's like a lot of that's got to fall on these Canadian players that are killing it right now in the European leagues. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if we're being honest, realistically, I mean, you only need about 8 stadiums to run a tournament. I'm sure Canada could do it. I'm sure they could do it. But use a baseball field here or there, a couple. I'm sure they could figure out. They got land up there. They could just go out to like British Columbia and build a whole complex, hotel.
Yeah, I mean, if Qatar could build it all in a few years, definitely Canada can do it. But
yeah, and Canada has the land too, and it would be cooler too. Canada,
yeah, right.
Even in July and June, it's fresco. All right, that's another World Cup 2026. But speaking of Major League Soccer or America, you sent me a text earlier this week with a tweet in it saying that Apple TV had just signed a 10-year bumper deal with Major League Soccer to have the broadcasting rights exclusively worldwide. None of this Amazon Prime in Europe or football TV in South America. If you want to watch Major League Soccer, it's Apple TV Plus. Thoughts?
Finally, like, this is what I feel like. So first of all, I'm not, as you very well know, like, I don't care about MLS soccer. It's just not that important to me. I don't ever watch it. I've been to a couple games, like when Thierry Henry played or whatever, but I'm just very excited as for like what this could potentially bring in the future, because it's so difficult to, first of all, get access to any soccer game. Second of all, when you travel, it's a whole different scenario. You're going to need a VPN because this country doesn't carry it. Like, you need this app here or this app there or this provider here. Like, it's just a nightmare. It's a mess. So I love what Apple did is for the fans, like anywhere in the world, anyone who has Apple TV Plus, you get all these games. It doesn't matter who you are, where you are. If there's Apple TV Plus, Only thing you got to worry about is what time you're waking up to watch these games. So for like the
Yup.
future, that's huge. I mean, it's huge right now for MLS and for MLS fans and for getting the MLS out there and like looked at by the rest of the world instead of just the North Americas. I think it's a really great huge deal, and I hope that something like that will eventually come to European football. I would love if Apple picked up the rights to really any European league at this point, from obviously EPL to Eredivisie. I don't really care. I would just love to see them pick up some European leagues on top of that. So, what do you think?
Pick up the Turkish league for all I care.
Seriously.
Yeah, bro. Well, I forget the figure. So yeah, 10-year deal. I think it's somewhere around 250 mil a season.
Wow.
So just in terms of like giving the league like a boost in terms of money,
Huge.
clubs can bring in better players. Like you said, visibility. Like if there was some kid in Barcelona that thought, I want to watch this Spanish guy that
You're right.
just got signed to Miami FC, and I'm already watching, Fraggle Rock and the after party on Apple TV Plus. Let me go ahead and stay up a little bit later to watch this Major League Soccer game. It's no hassle. So yeah, I love the deal, and I'm with you. If they could sign any other league, because they also, I mean, and this isn't we're here to talk about this, but they already have a contract with the Major
Right.
League Baseball as well. Every Friday night they air 2 games.
That's crazy.
So I'm like, anything to get like just coverage, global coverage where you travel. It's like, oh, how am I gonna
Yeah.
do this? Yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, shout out to Apple. Big for MLS, big for Apple, big for the fans. I love it.
Yeah. Same.
You want me to tell you what I don't
What?
love? England losing 4-0 to Hungary. What the heck, man? At home.
At home.
At home. At home. I didn't watch the game. For it wasn't televised. The Germany game was on instead. I watched Germany score like 7 goals against who did they play? Was it Italy? I can't remember.
Italy, wasn't it? Or no, was that the one that?
I think it.
No, England. I mean, I don't remember who it was. England, Italy was behind closed doors, right? So I don't remember who Germany played. Might have been.
Germany.
I mean,
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I watched them beat somebody like 5 or 7 goals to 1 or something. But anyway, you're England, man. What's up? Like, are they fit? Are they going to be okay in Qatar? Is this what we can expect to see?
I just think that there's a couple things. First of all, I think the most important thing is that these dudes are tired. Mbappe's post when he finally got to vacation, all that said was him in a pool, and it says "finally." So, you know that this has been a long season for everyone, especially these top tier England players who play for Man City, Man United, any of these like Chelsea. A lot of these guys, they were in so many. United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City. All of these dudes have been playing for such a long time and deep into these competitions. So, yeah, they definitely just need a break. But also, honestly, I don't really know how good. I think that it was a kind of a fluke, I will say, but I don't know how good they'll be in the World Cup. Like, let me just put that out there, because a lot of the, star players are kind of. There's Jadon Sancho's kind of taking a hit. Marcus Rashford is taking a hit as far as form goes. Obviously, we all know about Harry Maguire. So I don't know. It's kind of a little bit of both. Obviously, I think the biggest thing is just that they're tired. It was like their last game. They just wanted to get it over with and get out of there. But yeah, that didn't look good. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard to say that they're just not good. They're definitely good. I think it was a bit of a fluke, but this could be, something that we may see more of. But I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily like Southgate out type of thing. I don't know. I mean, he got him to the final a year ago. So these England fans can be ruthless, but I don't know. What do you think?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, he got him to a Euro 2020 and 2021 final. In 2021 on the cupcake path.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
No disrespect
That's
to
true.
any of those teams, but it was an easy bracket for them. I'll say this. During this international break, okay, you said it. They're tired. The players are tired. They've been playing a ton of games. Everyone's been playing a ton of games. I mean, I guess there could be a statement made that the players from Hungary haven't been playing a ton of games because maybe they're not in, the highest of leagues, so they're not playing, 60
Yeah.
70 games a season. But they lost to Hungary on match day 1. Hungary beat England 1-0. They drew Germany, which is also tired,
Yeah.
right? The German players, they get
Yeah.
busy. Okay. Italy, sure, they lost in the finalissima to Argentina. I mean, what was the score of that game? Like 5-0? Something stupid like that? England couldn't score against them. That game ended 0-0, and then they lose 4-0 to Hungary. I'm kind of like, okay, tired. Okay, you could be tired, but to lose 4-0, yeah, it might be a fluke. But in aggregate, in this
Yeah.
group, they've beat you 5-0 in aggregate. Like that's
That's a good point.
That's dastardly. That's dastardly. Like, okay, you might have been tired on game day 1. You better lock in and make sure you at least tie 0-0 at home.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, honestly, I don't think this would happen like in a World Cup, but they're gonna be just as tired. The games, I mean, what they get 3 weeks
Yeah.
off. Premier League is back on what?
August.
Mid-August. Okay, so they get July off. Okay, so they got about 6 weeks off, and then they're going hard all the way until the World Cup. So I mean, I don't know. Like you said, I don't think it's Gareth Southgate out because I honestly don't know who they would get to replace him. Who's going to replace Gareth Southgate 6 months before the World Cup?
I don't either.
That would be almost as stupid as Tottenham firing Jose Mourinho to put in Ryan Mason as the interim right before, I think it was the Carabao Cup final that they were in, or maybe it was whatever cup. They was like, yo, we're this close. Let's just admit that we knew we don't want to win. We don't want to win. So I think, you can't change anything. Hopefully these players get some confidence back. And that's like I say, it was a coincidence, but like overall England have been extremely poor.
Yeah.
And I attribute them making it to a final to them mostly just barely squeaking by teams, and teams that in all honesty were nowhere near the level of competition that Italy had to go through. Like they didn't have to go through Belgium, they
Yeah.
had to go through Spain, like you know what I mean? Like France, they didn't have to be any of those big teams.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not being disrespectful, but
No, yeah.
I'm not afraid to call it how I see it. That's the team I support. It's the country I was born in, but they look like trash.
No, I think you're right. But do you think that the players are trash? Because now that you bring up you bring up Belgium, I'm like, oh dang, that's like or Spain, obviously Argentina. I'm definitely Germany. Like, do these players compare to these other countries?
Well, I mean, so again, I don't watch the game, and I
But we watch the
definitely
league, right?
Because that hurt.
What'd you say? I said, but we watch the league, right?
The league.
So we know the players.
Well, yeah. So I mean, I'm assuming. So I mean, Harry Kane is elite. Like he's a great striker. I think that I'll just say it. I think the England players are
Okay.
good. I can't say what went wrong because I haven't watched any of these games because none of them have been on TV.
So crazy.
Or I didn't watch or I was too busy and it ended up the 2 games that I could have watched were boring draws
Yeah.
anyway. So I mean, I don't think like for example, I think Belgium has when Belgium wants to be good, they have 3 players that in my opinion can be, 3 of the best players in the world. And I'm biased because I love those guys. I love you. Anyone watching this can guess who they are. I love all 3 of them. So Belgium in that regard, France also have been playing pretty lackluster football during the UEFA conference, but they've also not been playing the real squad.
Right.
They haven't been playing the real squad. The boy's been injured. When the boy is in, the boy looks fire. Benzema, Benzema played like every single game. So I'm like, if I'm matching them up, I think England has the personnel. So I feel like what you're getting at is the coach the issue? Is the coach the issue? I feel like is the question that you're begging. He probably is.
Probably. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because he did come out of nowhere.
They need to hire a foreigner. They need to hire themselves a foreigner. Bring in a non-British coach. We do just fine.
But you're right. It shouldn't happen until
Carlo
after
Ancelotti.
this. Oh my gosh. Are you serious? Yeah, that would be amazing.
but don't do it now. Yeah, you're better off going with the strategy you have right now. Who knows? We might get another cakewalk.
Yeah.
And walk right into a semi or a quarter or even a final. So, yeah, it is what it is, though.
that everything?
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah, that is everything. So I guess I'll take a few more minutes. I'll ask you a question. You usually have
All right.
questions. Let me ask you a question.
Kind of nervous.
Nketiah
Uh,
re-signed to Arsenal. They gave him a pretty significant number. As an Arsenal supporter, I just want your thoughts and feelings on that, and what does this mean for Arsenal going forward?
so, as an Arsenal supporter, I'm happy that we have a striker because that's not always the case. I'm happy that he's, an Arsenal boy, that he's been supporting them since he was young, but he's also, a graduate of the Hale End, so he's, knows obviously the club, the values, whatever. Um, and to be honest, he really, I don't know. I think what you're getting at is like there's a lot of hate coming out right now about like there's a lot of fans, Arsenal fans, that are saying like, why are we signing this dude? Should have let him go for free. It's, at the very least, like why are we giving him the most legendary number at the club? I got nothing wrong with it. Like let's all kind of get on board here. He had an incredible end to the season when he was finally given his chance. I mean, 2 goals against, no offense, against Chelsea. He works hard. He's always going to work hard. He's going to press the defense. He's always going to, give his best for that. And I mean, the more that he plays, the more he's going to score. Like when he gets his chances, he takes them. So I'm happy with it. I'm happy that, it was him. There were some clubs coming after him, a couple in England, a couple in Germany. So I'm happy that he's staying at Arsenal. I'm very happy. The number, I have nothing wrong with that. I'm happy too. Like let's put a little bit of pressure on him. You think that these fans would have been upset when Ansu Fati got the number 10 from Messi? Like that's a harder role to fill. So I think that when you give that number to someone, it kind of gives them the urge to push themselves and be a little bit better. So I'm happy with it. I like Nketiah as like a human being. I think he's a great person. And to be honest, like nobody can be mad or say that he's not worth it or this or that, just because we haven't seen him play enough to judge that. What we have seen this season, especially when he got his chance, was really good, and I'm excited to see more of that in the future. So I'm excited about it. I do hope that Arsenal make more signings, but I am really happy that Nketiah signed an extension. I think it's great.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I'm not an Arsenal fan, so my 2 cents isn't worth anything.
Oh yeah, it is.
I honestly, I mean, it's a number. It's
a number.
the number 14. You know, like you said, it's a legendary number, man. It's a legendary number. Someone has to wear it. Why not him?
Right.
He caught fire at the end of the season. Ride that momentum into the next season. You know, the pressure is good. You know. It's definitely not a curse number.
No.
It's not like if it would like there's a like it's like a player wearing a number 9 at Chelsea, that's a curse. We don't want you to wear it. It's not like we feel like you can't live up to the expectation like you said. But, number 14, let him wear it.
Let him wear it.
Why not? Let the boy let him wear his shirt, Henry happy. I'm sure Aubameyang's happy. Who else wore the number 14?
Theo Walcott?
Bergkamp? No. Walcott. Oh yeah, that's right. Walcott wore it. Ended up at Everton. But yeah, I mean, he didn't disrespect the number. So
No,
I'm with it.
You're right. I also just want to quickly say, like, there's no reason to like. I mean, this kid is the under 21, England's under 21 all-time leading goal scorer. So he can score goals. So let's just wait for it to happen. It'll happen.
Yeah, I have no problem. Yeah. Betting on your own. I mean, yeah, and as far as like signing him, so like I didn't see that. What are the specifics of his like is it a 4-year deal, 5-year?
I want to say it's a 5. I could just look it up real quick, but I thought it was a 5-year deal. I can just click it. So yeah. I mean, I'm happy with it. I think that I didn't want to see him leave, to be honest. I mean, I do think that, hey, if you're upset, till 2027, 5-year deal, like then sign someone else. But I'm really happy with it. I can't wait. 5-year deal.
Yeah, dude. I mean, this is all saying this isn't specific to Nketiah. Just, I feel like when big clubs or just clubs in general, if it's within your means to keep a player, especially a homegrown player that came through the academy, if it's within your means to keep that player and they're not like knocking the door down, or if they were knocking the door down and now they want to stay, like I feel like there's never like unless like you're down bad and you need like 60 million and like Newcastle's like, we'll give you 60 million, and it's like, yo, you could be a hero for us because we need to like rebuild the midfield, which they don't. I'm like, why not? You guys got a young thing going on. You know, he was gonna leave. Now he's gonna stay. I don't know. You know, he's probably not on crazy money because like he was a fringe player, so he's
Yeah.
probably making less than 100K a week on a 5-year deal, and he wanted to sign. Like I would have ripped his arm off. Like yeah, like you keep in your locker, and you can. And number 14 is yours. If that's all you wanted, say less.
Right.
We love you. You know. So that's my 2 cents. So yeah, ultimately I'm happy, and yeah,
Cool.
it's a shame when a player has to leave,
It really is.
especially the club that they grew up
Yeah,
at.
I like. I mean, I didn't want to see like what happened to Tammy Abraham happen to him. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And like the thing is, and like I didn't realize he was a top goal scorer for the U21s or whatever or 23s. But it's like like very very seldom. It's just like this weird dichotomy where it's like these strikers will leave the club that they grew up at, go somewhere else, and flourish,
Yeah.
come to life, and then like this, it's a vicious cycle, and it's like, okay, we're gonna re-sign this player, or someone else is gonna sign this player on like stupid money to try to recapture that. And then it's like they choke and they can't live up to the expectation because they cost 70 million
Right.
and they're making 300K, or like people talk about like, oh yeah, they're making too much money, so they feel relaxed and they don't feel the need to work or whatever. And it's like, okay, is there like a fine line between like making a guy like feel like he's gonna be homeless and scoring
Right.
goals? I mean, that sounds a little bit messed up, but why not just keep him, give him some chances, and he could turn into a top. Like who knows, he might win a golden boot with the
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
young
You
boys
never
behind him.
know.
And you never know. It's like you just look at these players. Like you look at like Mohamed Salah. Like okay, he was at Chelsea, he left, came back, did numbers. I it would be different for other players. Like if you came from like a club that didn't have the means to put you in that position, but like
Yeah.
Arsenal's in
Arsenal
a
got the
position where
money.
they can do
Yeah.
that. Yeah, oh yeah, exactly. They're in a position. So anyway, that's all I got.
Nice.
You got anything else?
Um, I thought that there was a rumor or something that I wanted to talk about, but I forgot, and that'll come next week or whatever. But no, I mean that's it. Like I'm happy. It's been a pretty good week, so let's look forward to another big week of I think a lot of transfers coming. So we'll obviously be updating everyone on that in a week or so.
Dope. Okay. Peace.